I'm not a lawyer, but let's talk about the latest in the Jane Doe versus Diddy and Jay Z lawsuit. I'm a little late, but the day after Christmas, the judge in the case, Judge Analisa Torres, made some rulings that aren't the best for Jay Z. Just keep watching. So, first up, the judge ruled that Jane Doe in this case can remain anonymous for now. If you recall, one of the first things that Jay Z and his attorneys did after Jay was added to the lawsuit was file a motion to say that Jane Doe should have to reveal her name. She should not be allowed to be anonymous. Jay's team argued that there are about 10 instances or things to consider when determining if a person should be allowed to remain anonymous in a lawsuit. And according to them, this Jane Doe doesn't meet any of the 10 factors. But Judge Torres disagrees. In fact, Judge Torres said there are 4 out of those 10 reasons that do apply to Jane Doe and this lawsuit, and that's why she gets to remain anonymous. The first reason from the list of 10 is if a lawsuit involves highly sensitive or very personal matters, a judge may rule that a plaintiff can remain anonymous. And Judge Torres says that this case does involve highly sensitive and very personal matters, and includes that courts in the district have already said that allegations that deal with SA are in fact highly sensitive and of extreme personal nature. So that's reason number 1. The next 2 reasons have to do with if Jane Doe could be at risk of retaliation or harm if her name is revealed. Judge Torres says that in the amended complaint, Jane Doe has already expressed that she experiences depression, seizures, and PTSD as a result of the alleged assault, and also notes that, according to Tony Busby, some of his other clients who are suing Diddy have already been threatened for speaking out. So basically, if Jane Doe's name is revealed, she also could receive threats. And then the final reason that Judge Torres gives has to do with if the plaintiff's identity has already been revealed. And here, Judge Torres notes that even though Jane Doe did that NBC interview, even that interview was done anonymously. So while producers at NBC may know her name, the rest of us do not. And for that reason, she can continue to remain anonymous for now. So we'll see if that changes. The next thing the judge ruled on had to do with Jay Z's attorney wanting his motions fast-tracked. In all of his letters, Spiro kept saying everything was urgent, and Judge Torres doesn't seem to have liked that. Specifically, Judge Torres says that, quote, Carter's lawyer's relentless filing of combative motions containing inflammatory language and ad hominem attacks is inappropriate, a waste of judicial resources, and a tactic unlikely to benefit his client. The court will not fast-track the judicial process merely because the counsel demands it. Judge Torres goes on to say, although Spiro is claiming Busby is the one with a chronic inability to follow the rules, Spiro is actually the one that's failed to abide by this court's clear rules. Torres says this is unacceptable, and Spiro is hereby advised that any further motions filed in violation of the court's individual practices may be denied on that ground alone. Spiro, you might have to calm down. I don't think she likes you. Lastly, Judge Torres addresses Spiro's claim that Busby should have never filed this lawsuit in the first place without looking into it, and that he wants to file a Rule 11 motion to have Busby sanctioned. But to this, Judge Torres says that she discourages Spiro from filing that motion. And then she denied Alex Spiro's request for this lawsuit against Jay Z to be dismissed. Jay's team has already filed some more paperwork. Specifically, they filed this letter, which is giving the judge a heads up that they plan to file another motion to dismiss this lawsuit on the basis that they say the law under which the lawsuit was filed was enacted after the alleged incident happened. So they're saying if the incident happened before the law was in place, the law isn't retroactive. She can't use the law now. The other reason they're saying that they plan to file this motion to dismiss is because, according to them, the incident didn't happen in New York and therefore isn't covered under this law. This has to do with the plaintiff saying that she was driven 20 minutes away and therefore that puts her outside of New York. I don't know, child. This is clearly going to be a very long and drawn out situation, so I'll be back when something big happens.